Hi friends, and welcome. Today's video is a yoga video, an osteoporosis-friendly version in the brick house bone style, where we focus on strength and balance and posture. We're going to take our time moving slowly through the poses, making sure we have good balance and control, and can focus on those movements being well tuned into our body and what it needs in any given moment. This is a beginner plus or intermediate light flow today. We will not be sitting in crisscross applesauce position if you were worried or concerned about that. Mostly standing movements. Again, being very mindful of how we transition. We're not in a rush, and then we'll finish lying down on the mat. You can use a couple of yoga blocks if you need a little support for certain positions. You may also have a chair available close by. That might be the little more support if you are more challenged in some of your range of motion positions. I'm Dr. Lisa. I'm a physical therapist and a yoga instructor, and I do Brick House Bones method, where we work on the evidence-based principles that we know help improve our strength, vitality, and reduce our risk for fractures if we have osteoporosis or low bone mass. If you're new here, I would be most honored if you would subscribe, and if you like this video, please leave me a comment, and then especially share it with someone else that you think might enjoy it too. Thank you for joining me. Let's start standing on our mats with our feet hip width apart, which is about one fist. Okay? And just lift those toes up, spread them all the way out, let them find the floor again. Let's roll the shoulders up and back and down, open the palms and reach the fingertips for the floor. Let the crown of the head float up to the sky. The long neck, tuck the chin, and if it's comfortable for you and your balance is okay, close your eyes for a moment. Take a full deep breath in and out. And set your intention for your practice today. What is it you hope to achieve or gain or release in our time together? And you may open your eyes. And I ask you in this practice that you honor your body and that you move in ways that feel good to you, and that you pull back from anything that doesn't feel good to you. Okay, so back into mountain position, this strong, grounded, rooted position. I'd like you to make sure that you feel your foot tripod. So each foot has a tripod. It's the base of the big toe, that big knuckle around the big toe, the base of the little toe knuckle, and the heel. And this is our foot tripod, and this is our balance point. You know, tripod is very stable. So having all 3 points of contact really improves our balance. So rooting through the feet now. Let's rise up on the toes, pause, and rise back down. I remember first doing this in a yoga class and being amazed at how difficult it was to hold my balance up on my toes. Good, and back down. Fabulous, one more time. Up on the toes, and down. Hands on the hips. Let's do a small circle around our feet. So we're making this connection to our feet. The whole body is shifting weight. So you should feel, and I want you to really bring your awareness to the sensations in your feet right now. Which foot is receiving the pressure? Where are you feeling that pressure? Is it the heel, the ball of the foot, the toes? How does that change as you move in a circle on top of your feet? And what if you change direction? Finding our grounding, our root, our connection to earth. Waking up the feet to be prepared for our balance challenge. Good, wonderful. Let's bend the knees slightly. Let's inhale, reach the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Bend the knees slightly, arms down. Reach the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Here we're going to do a flow where I show you my version of a forward fold. So we're going to bend the knees slightly. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. I'm going to hinge the hips back. Hands down to the knees. So looking from the side, I still have a nice straight back. And then we're going to go into monkey pose. Long legs straight back. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms up. So this is how I modify a forward fold to be safer for our spine. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms come down, hips go back. Inhale, knees go back, long spine, monkey pose. Bend the knees and come back up. Just so you could see that from both positions. Let's go soften the knees. Inhale, arms up, clasp the hands together. We're going to keep the index fingers pointing ahead. Think about long spine here. We're creating length. Yes, we're getting a little bit of a side bend here, but we're keeping this very small, thinking more about the reach over the right shoulder. Exhale to come back. Inhale, reach. Next exhale, back to center. Let's float those arms down. Wonderful. Hands to heart center. Let's reach that tailbone back and down, sitting back. Couple of breaths here. Building some heat, some tension in the legs. Reach up as we rise up. Full body stretch. Let's sweep the hands back behind the back. Clasp the knuckles together. Press the knuckles towards the floor. Lift the chin. Release the hands back to heart center. One breath in here, we're going to sit back down into chair pose, reaching the tailbone back and down, keeping the heart lifting. If this is in your wheelhouse today, shift your weight to your right leg and pick up your left leg. Shift your weight to your left leg, pick up your right leg. Building a little strength and heat. Shift to the right. Lift the left foot. Shift to the left. Lift the right foot. Marvelous. Inhale to stand. And sweep the arms back. Wonderful. Let's turn to the long edge of your mat. Starting at the front, we're going to do a high lunge. So step the right leg back. The heel may be up. You can keep your hips on your hands if that's easier for balance. If you needed a chair, you can have a chair right beside you. So have the chair beside the leg that's in front. So if your left leg's in front, have the chair back beside your left leg. Holding this position, creating length through the back hip, which helps us maintain a taller standing position, helps us stride better. Now here's the magic. We're going to step the feet together, but you need to shift your weight onto that front leg and then step the feet together. A lot of people struggle with that step the feet together. It's all about the weight shift and strength. So now shifting the weight onto the right leg, stepping the left leg back. If you need to move your chair block to the other side, that's okay. Taking our time and holding these poses to build some strength here. Create some space. We're doing a lot to open up the hips today. If you need to, you can tick-tock that leg a little bit further back if you have a little more space as it loosens up. We're going to step forward again, so I'm going to press forward onto the right leg and step the feet together. Walk that out a little bit. We're going to kind of flow with this again here. Now stepping the right foot back again, getting it into that position that feels like a good stretch. Let's keep that tailbone tucked under, flatten the back here. We'll raise the arms up. If that feels good to you, you can keep your hands on your hips or on a chair or here. We're going to work on moving our hands to this overhead position. Couple more breaths. Hands to heart. Shift the weight to the front leg. Step the feet together. Shift over to the other leg. Step back. We're going to bring the arms up. So bringing the arms up helps us to become more active in our spinal muscles, our shoulder muscles, and our postural muscles. Holding this position helps us build endurance in those postural muscles. One more breath here. Hands to heart, shift the weight forward, step the feet together. Very nice. Really warming up the legs, building some heat in the legs. I'm going to bring my blocks to the front. Going wide-legged now. Wide-legged, we're going to loosen up the hamstrings a little bit and the inner thighs. So coming down into this wide-legged sumo squat. Pulsing here. Good. Now, with straight legs, we're going to hinge at the hip with a nice long back coming down so we feel that stretch in the back body. Now, if you need yoga block here to support you, that's okay. If you can do it without, that's fine. The yoga block works very nicely. And we're going to flex side to side. Again, keeping the back nice and straight, keeping a lift through the heart. If you feel like you are rounding the back, then you need a taller support, so you may need a chair. So if you feel like you can keep your heart rate up and have a nice straight spine like you see on me, then that's great. If you feel like you're tight and you're rounding your back, then come up a little bit higher so that you can be in a safer position. Excellent. Okay. From here, let's bring the arms up into cactus arms, and we're going to go into goddess pose. So coming down, tailbone coming down, keeping the heart open and big, and the knees pressing out. Inhale, reach up, straighten the legs, take a breath. Back down, goddess pose. Inhale, reach up, hands to heart. Tick-tock those feet back together. We're building some really wonderful leg strength here today. Leg strength, hip mobility, and posture. With our feet side by side, hip width apart, working a little weight shift left and right. Good. Let's shift your weight to your left. Inhale the right knee up. Right foot back down. Shift your weight to the right. Inhale your left knee up. Okay, next we're going to do a figure 4 balance exercise. You can do tree if that's more your position. You can balance on one leg with your knee up. If you're with me and want to go to the next level, we're going to inhale the right leg up, cross that over the left knee. Let's take our hands to heart and sit. Keep your heart lifting. Breathe into any tight spaces you're noticing, perhaps in the hip. Feeling your foot tripod, which is responding so well because you warmed it up. Inhale, reach up, lift up, float that foot back down. Very nice, everybody. Very nice. I love it. I can see it. You look beautiful. Let's take a breath here. We're going to shift our weight to our other leg. Float the opposite knee up. If you're doing the crossover leg balance, then let's get into position. Hands on your heart. You can be just balancing nice and tall on one leg, hands on your heart with just one knee up. Sinking down here, open heart. Breathing into that hip. Feeling that strength of your balanced foot. Inhale, lift the knee, reach up. Float that leg back down. Wonderful. Let's kind of tread that out lightly. Again, we're going to turn to the long edge of our mat. I'm going to start with the right foot forward and step the left leg straight back. So straight leg in the front, straight leg in the back, open heart, hands on the hips. And we're targeting the back of the leg on the front side. So keeping a long spine, floating forward until you feel that stretch in the back of the leg. If you feel you need to round your back, then you may be stopping up here. Wherever you need to get to so that you can maintain this flat back position, as soon as you feel that tail tuck under, you need to back up, brace that good position, and that's where you hold it. Okay, so just pay attention. Let's be really tuned into our bodies here as we're coming forward to stretch that front hamstring, creating that space and that length, and holding this position is such wonderful strength for our back. Let's take a breath. Hands to the hips, rise back up. Let's step the feet together, weight shift to the front leg, feet step together, coming back. Sort of a modified triangle position without the twist. Okay, it's also a great balance position as you see me wobble here. Okay, same thing. We're reaching the tailbone back. Chest is coming forward but staying open. So we're not caving in here. Staying open. Hands to heart if that's available to you. Breathing into that hamstring where you're feeling that tension. Good. Bend the knees, shift your weight forward, step the feet together. All right, we're going to elaborate on that a little bit. Take a moment and just be mindfully curious of all the wonderful sensations that you feel during this practice. Curious and compassionate about the different sensations that you feel as you go through these poses. Okay, Stepping the left foot back into our modified triangle, coming forward into our long spine position, hands to heart center. We're going to release those hands down. Keep that long neck with the chin tucked, and let's fly the arms out like an eagle. Spread those wings so the fingertips are reaching in opposite directions. Let's bring the hands back together. We'll take the hands back with the palms up, reaching for the wall behind you. Bring the hands back down and together, and then with the thumbs up, reaching out at an angle over each shoulder. This is the hardest one. And release back down. Bend the knee, step the feet together. Take a breath. Building on postural strength and hip mobility. Step back with the other leg. Okay, hinging at the hip, coming forward into our stretch position, hands to heart. Keep that heart lifting in that long spine. Tuck the chin. Hands come down. Spread your wings and fly. Reach those arms across. Hands come down and together. Let's turn the palms to the ceiling as we reach back behind us. Hands come back down to the front and together. Inhale, reach the thumbs up over the shoulders. Keep that chin tucked. Release the hands, bend that front knee, step the feet together. Let's take hands to heart and take a breath. Very, very nice. I love how thoughtful and kind you're being to your body right now. All right, let's step back. We're going to step the left knee back and down. From this position, with this knee forward, we're going to roll forward, raise those arms up and down. Sweep it up, look up. Hold, lift the heart, reach for the ceiling. Hands to heart center. Let's bring the foot out towards the edge of your mat. We'll take the left hand down, and with my right hand, I'm going to open up through the right hip and knee. So pushing that knee out, the sole of the foot may come up, that's okay. And now I'm turning over the opposite shoulder. So I'm pushing the right knee out and looking over the left shoulder. Beautiful. Release that knee. You place that hand to the ground, bring the right knee down to the mat, and we're going to bring the left knee up. In this low lunge position, let's sweep forward as we reach up and back. Inhale, reach up, lift your heart, look up, spread those fingers, take a breath. Hands to heart, tick-tock that foot out to the edge. Right foot or hand goes to the mat, left hand pushes the left knee out. Turn and look over the opposite shoulder. Marvelous. Release that knee. Coming to our hands and knees position. So hands should be right under the shoulders. Knees should be right under the hips so that you have straight table legs in your tabletop formation. Let's do some gentle circles over our wrists if they need a little bit of support here. And the other direction. Find our stable. Pull that belly button in to squeeze and support the spine, just gently, not too firmly. Push the floor away completely. So this would be sort of caved in and passive, but if I push that floor away all the way, I have that broad back position. And now let's alternately tap left shoulder, feeling the weight bearing through that left arm. Right hand goes down, receive the weight on the right arm, tap the right shoulder. Slow taps here, just being curiously mindful of what that sensation feels like as that load transitions from one arm to the other. And how wonderful it is that your body can support you like this. Nice. From here, you may take your knees a little bit wider, walk the hands forward and sit the hips back. In this child's pose variation, I call child's play. So I want you to go ahead, let the hips roll a little bit side to side, feeling any areas of restriction or tightness. Let's float back up. Let the hips drop down to whatever level feels safe and comfortable for you. This is just very gentle. Lift the hips, belly button squeezes in, coming back down. We're going to crawl those fingertips forward, really reach the tailbone away, getting all that lovely length. Roll your hips over the right leg, just a little bit of movement there. Roll your hips over the left leg. Notice, just bring awareness to any restrictions in that area. Inhale, coming back forward, letting the hips come down to whatever level feels good. Beautiful. Walking up, back to hands and knees. And here you may grab your block again. And we're going to do a stretch for the front of the thighs. If you're particularly tight there, you can put the block behind your hips, like so, or at the lower position in either one. The goal is to get your hands back behind you with the fingers pressed forward, sitting back, lifting the hip points up and forward. Big stretch in the front of the thighs. And release back down. So this is a lot of mobility in my knees. If you don't have that, use your block. Prop that block up a little bit higher and see if you can't just begin to work on that mobility in your knees. Let's lift those hips up higher, squeeze the glutes, open the heart. Kind of a kneeling version of a bridge. And release those hips back down. Good, coming forward again. Tuck the toes back. Sitting up, this toe stretch in this tall position. If you've ever had plantar fasciitis or an Achilles or calf strain, you may feel that on the side of your injury, that you have more tightness there than the other side. I feel this a lot on my injury side on my left leg. Marvelous. Okay, coming forward onto our bottoms. We are doing one sitting pose here. We're going to do staff pose. So sitting with the legs long. If you need more support so you're not rounded, you can prop up on top of your block and sit on your block. That is absolutely okay. Press through the hands, lift the heart. Think about how tall you can possibly be with your head just levitating to the sky. Toes flex back to you, thighs are active. This is a very active pose. Take a breath here. Marvelous. Coming onto our sides and then rolling onto our backs. Extend the left leg long and tuck the right leg up to your inner thigh as if you're doing tree pose. Flex the toes back towards you and let's sweep the arms up and place the palms together into a lying tree pose or a supine tree. Keeping the right knee pressing out towards the floor. Good. Release that leg. Extend the right leg long. Let's bring the left leg up high to the inner thigh. Let that leg roll out and open. If you have difficulty crossing your legs or sitting crisscross applesauce, this is a great stretch to work on that. Let's sweep the arms overhead with the palms together. Wonderful. Release that left leg. Legs can be nice and long. We'll inhale both arms up for a full body stretch. Press the heels through and the fingertips away from each other. Let's bring in one knee at a time here up to a bent knee position. Let's give those knees a little hug into the chest. Not aggressively, just gently. Let's draw some little circles with those knees. And circles the other way. Release the feet to the mat, but almost as wide as your mat. Let's take the hands behind the head in an open elbow butterfly position. Press both knees to the right. Squeeze the left glute, so you press that left hip slightly forward. Inhale the knees back to center. One breath, and then we'll sweep the knees to the other side. Squeeze the right glute. Press the right hip forward. Try to keep those elbows back while you do this. So this is getting a lot of hip rotation. Marvelous. Let's bring those knees back to center. Release the hands from beside the head. Let's bring the palms down beside the hips with the palms up or down, whatever is comfortable to you. Extend each leg out, wriggle and adjust to find whatever position is comfortable for this short savasana. Take a full deep breath in here. Releasing any worries of the day, any tensions of the day. See if you can bring yourself right to this moment, this sacred, precious moment, the only one we have. I hope you feel so proud of what you've done today, so proud of the efforts that you're taking for you. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a comment below. Namaste.